Okay, so I just got this record, and I was talking to people on Discord, so I had to mute the audio for the game, but I'm going to try to just improvise an explanation of what's going on. I just learned this route and improved this route using a glitch I just found. So I'm doing my setup that I do at the beginning for the tutorial, where you set up the save clip, and then you do the saddle setup. It's just less menuing for me, and I find it easier to keep track of. And then you press F9 to quick load on the frame that the game loads in. The timing's not frame perfect, but it's a little precise. I believe I messed up this clip here, which is really embarrassing. But we'll see. Ooh, okay, I didn't. That must have been the run right before it. So you turn around facing north after you do the clip, and you take all, and we need these scrolls to do a duping thing later, so I make a save there so I can load warp this character in later. I don't remember how many tries this took, but it had to be under the 40-second mark when I clipped through, because that was my benchmark for when I would reset for this category. Okay, so yeah, I got it at 30 seconds. Then you turn around and you do the first load warp, so you press escape and E on the same frame, and that brings up the menu and opens the door, and then you go through and load the saddle, which is the chair. There's a lot of lingo in the speedrunning community for this game that's hard to keep track of, but anyway. So I'm now the character from the prison cell because I loaded in an old save while going through the door, if that makes sense. Okay, and then I'm going to load the character who had the scrolls through this door right here. So you press E and escape at the same time, brings up the menu and opens the door. You pop the character through the door that has the scrolls. So now we have the scrolls we need, and we're going to finish the rest of the tutorial without messing around with our character. So I make this jump here, and I use an audio cue to tell if I got it. I didn't get it the first try. I guess I got it. No, I didn't get it there. Okay. There's a lot of errors in this run, but it's a new route, so I was able to still get world record by a significant margin, even with a lot of errors. So I don't know how long this record will stand, but you punch the Emperor 6 times, you run this way. And there's a lot of RNG in this section, like a lot, because it depends on where the Mythic Dawn agents are. Like, that guy can be farther back, and my fireball might miss. There's just a lot of annoying stuff. I got pretty decent RNG here. So, what you want to do, basically, is kill those 3 Mythic Dawn agents and just hope that the other ones from the other area don't come around and try to fight. You stand on the edge of this brick, wait an hour to refill your magicka, pick the steed to get a speed boost, back up, equip flare because the hotkey resets, and then flare the Emperor to get aggro. You pick up these arrows because we're on the 1.0 version of the game to get the arrow duplication version of the dupe glitch. And then you flare these 3 guys. That's as good as you can hope for at that part of the escort part of the tutorial. And then you wait here for the Emperor and Glenroy to get there. You yield to the Emperor. You talk to them. And then that guy, as soon as Glenroy turns around, this door automatically is scripted to unlock. So you go through the door. I do a quick save here in case I fall in the pit like an idiot. And then you do another save clip. By the way save clipping works is the game loads walls after it loads your character. So if you quit out of the game and go back in, it loads your character. And then on the second frame, you've moved forward far enough to be past the wall. So then you go through the sewer grate. And there's nothing that can really go wrong here unless I somehow fall off of that bridge or something. We don't use rat skip in this run because if you used rat skip and saddled, you would no longer have the scrolls or the arrows that you need. So everything from escort onward has to be without load warping. And we've been a male Redguard to have Adrenaline Rush, but I'm going to switch it here to be the Altmer because we're going to be using a lot of skooma, and the High Elf has a minimum of 100 magicka, and then we're going to switch to Nightblade. I learned today that if you don't pick a class, the game will crash when Boris automatically talks to you while you're waiting in a second here. So Nightblade has acrobatics and athletics, and that helps with your mid-air mobility for a clip that's going to be going on later. Okay, so this is called Early Skooma. You wait until 1 a.m., and then I think his name's Nordenor or something. He shows up, and he sells you skooma. This is the fastest way to get skooma, but first Boris jump scares you. So then, gotta wait for this part. The time stops on waits and load screens, by the way, because these are hardware-dependent things where the speed of the game is actually... the waiting is effectively a loading screen, so the time is only counting the actual gameplay that goes at a consistent speed, regardless of what computer you're on. and the top right displays the frame rate. Okay, so this is the so you punch, and then you go in your menu, and you try to equip and unequip the arrows, and then click on whatever you want, and it drops that many items that there were in the arrow stack. So you get at least 8 potions picked up, because you need them for in a second here. And then duping scrolls, you just click a scroll, and then drop the other scroll without closing the menu. And by selecting the scroll and then dropping the other one, it dupes that many scrolls for the stack of the other one. So you need 256 in one stack, and that's so you know when to stop. And then I accidentally didn't wait quite long enough for Nordnor because I got out of the sewer earlier than normal. So he sets up shop, and then you sell your potions to get money to buy the one skooma, and you only need one because, of course, we're going to be duping that. So now you go to the arena, and what you're going to do here is you're going to drop the skooma once. I forgot to do it, but you drop the skooma once because it can't dupe the first time for some reason. And then you dupe a ton of them. You pick up 10 of them about, and then you keep dropping and picking up stacks really quick until you have about 250. And then you hotkey the skooma and the flare. I messed it up a bit here, it looks like. Okay, and then there's a glitch where you can drink more than 4 skooma, where you drink 4 of it from your hotkey and then go into your menu and drink 4 from your inventory. And what that does is it gives you 8 skooma instead of the normal maximum of, I think it's 5. And it only works because potions that have a drain effect in their list of effects are able to have the hotkey glitch work. So now we're going to be drinking skooma the rest of the run, and we have a stack of scrolls that do 10 fire damage, which is enough to kill almost everything in one hit. We're going to save and do a save clip here. You don't have to do the save clip this way. You can just run into the wall, but it's really RNG heavy, and I find it more consistent to do it this way. Then you turn around and run all the way across. That's why I need Nightblade to make that jump. And then you have to press hotkey to equip the flare, and then press cast. So it's really annoying to have to remember to press it every time you fire the spell, but I'm not using flare, which is why it's doing so much more damage than it seems like it should. So then you save clip through these 2 spots, and then the part that comes up here is you're looking to see when the gate lowers. This is the new glitch I found that makes this route so much faster now. So you wait for that gate to lower. As soon as you see it lower, I did get more skooma. As soon as you see it lower, there's also an audio cue you can do, but sometimes it doesn't happen. You go in the door, and now the game just thinks the gate is closed as long as you quick save and then quick load after going back into the arena. This doubles up as 2 different things. It allows you to set up that glitch, and it also allows you to set up the save clip at the same time, so it's extra efficient. And you don't have to do the save clip every time. It's faster, but it doesn't have... what I mean is it has no relation to the glitch working. So the gate's now lowered, and then you flare, and the guy will just die from a distance, and I just look to see when the dialogue changes to say good people a second time, and you can hear the crowd cheer. Do this save clip again. This save clip is really fast because it allows you to talk to Boris twice like this, but sometimes it doesn't work if you run out of skooma in midair, or just if you hit the wall weird or something. So this whole run is basically trying to line up these shots, and it's not as easy as you think. And the main tip I have is that you pretty much don't want to move your mouse. There's a few parts in this run where I move my mouse, and it just it's the nail in the coffin for that fight. It just ruins everything. So you want to just line up your shot based on where the cursor's already positioned, and as long as they're not to the absolute farthest right they can spawn, you won't have to do anything different. If it is all the way to the right, I kind of dip out a little bit into the arena. Ideally, you don't want to trigger the dialogue when you kill them, because it starts the sequence that can trigger the gate to close. But if you're quick enough and you know the shot's going to land, you can risk it. And then if Owen... Sometimes the void warp doesn't work. That's when you fall out of bounds and it teleports you back in. If you fail to talk to Owen twice, you can just fall straight down and it'll put you next to him, and it doesn't lose a ton of time. It's just ideal to talk to Owen and then talk to him a second time and then run straight backwards to void warp right near the door over and over to cycle through all the fights a lot faster. But yeah, so you're basically setting up this clip every time, and then I tried to get it just because I was mainly practicing with this run. Since this was like my first day running this route. But ideally, like if you miss the clip once, it's probably better to just run around, because you're going to lose a lot of time trying to get that clip over and over again if you can't get it on your first try. So let's see what this next fight is. Oh yeah, okay, so I made a chart of what fights take how many hits. Let me pull that up really quick. The first several fights are only 1 hit, and then the first weird one is that there's 2 enemies in I think the 4th or 5th fight. And then there's a large streak where there's not any that take extra hits, and then the first one is the Dunmer that he takes more than 1 hit. He takes 3 total, and to do that you just spam cast and your hotkey for the spell to keep spamming it. Every time I cast a heal spell, that means I messed up and forgot to press 1 before I did my attack. I'm very new to a lot of the tech that was used in this route, so it was easy for me to forget stuff like that. So a lot of these fights are pretty much the same. Any of them that take 1 hit, it's the exact same process. Let's see if I get the double Owen here. No, okay, so see I messed it up. So the best thing to do is to just look about northeast and then just spam E so you talk to him right away. And I think we're coming up on the Dunmer. Yeah, so the Dunmer is blue, so it's easy to tell which one he is. I messed up my mouse positioning, and it's honestly faster to just reload if you spend too much time. So this is like probably one of the biggest mistakes in the entire route, and I ran out of skooma taking so long, so it just went horrible. But because I didn't trigger the dialogue by walking too far forward, I still get the pre-lowered gate glitch activated again here. So then it's the same process again. You fall down, try to talk to Owen twice, and you have to spam the E button pretty hard to get the second one. It's surprisingly hard to get that double, and it's kind of tricky to land in front of him in the first place because you have to get a very specific column to fall down. So that should be a 1 hit for that one because that's the Bosmer. And then you repeat the same process here. You go through, you save clip. And then, and the reason save clipping works going through that door versus going to the main menu is because going to a new area effectively unloads the save or the cell that you're trying to save clip through. So if you have a fast way to leave an area, that's just as fast to save clip as if you exit to the menu. It's actually faster than going to the menu, I should say. You lose I think 1 or 2 seconds going to the menu. And then one thing that is probably not super apparent from watching, but if you actually play the route, getting in the door right there is surprisingly hard when you're trying to set up the save clip. I don't know why, but the hitbox is not the entire door. It's around, it's the center of the door specifically. It's super weird. So we're going to talk to Owen again. We're going to back up because I got favorable button spamming on that one. And then which one are we coming up on here? So the next one that takes more than 1 hit is the second orc that you fight. So you got all of them take 1 up until the Dunmer takes 3, and then there's 5 more that take 1 hit, and then the orc. And then after that it gets really weird. So there's a bit of a lull in the route here because it's just kind of the same thing over and over. I did mess up a bit because I accidentally casted there. Wait for the dialogue to pop up, quick save, look at the door, hope you get the clip, and then I ran out of skooma in midair, so that messed up my chance of getting to Owen. It's really hard to pay attention to the skooma on top of everything else that's going on, at least it is for me. And I also find that running through this area, using the mouse movement kind of betrays where you're trying to go sometimes. Okay, so that's 2 hits because that's the second orc. Okay, perfect. And then you go through there and do the save clip. I think I messed it up so much that I gave up on one of these, but that might have been the run right before it. Okay, so what's coming up now is 3 Argonians. Now this one you do not want to trigger the dialogue from the announcer because this is the shortest dialogue out of all of them, and he will trigger the gate to open and ruin the run if you mess this up. So it's way faster to just take your time a little bit here and try to line these shots up. I got these lined up pretty quick. They weren't in a weird spot or anything. So you wait till you hear the dialogue and then you go through here. And you save clip again. The next one is a normal fight, thankfully. So all you do is you just set up a regular 1 shot and then you're on to the next spot. So let's just see that happen in here. Yep, so you just go up, and I tend to line up by using the walls as hard edges for aiming each shot. And then depending on how high up on the steps you are will affect how accurate your shot is, or I guess where it goes. So then the next one is 3 hits on this Breton. So again, to do this, you spam 1 to hotkey the flashbolt scroll, and then cast over and over again. And then on the third one, I had to get more skooma here. And then on the third one, you run to the door. Yeah, you know the drill at this point. This run is pretty much the same thing over and over again, but it's surprisingly difficult. This is a huge mistake. I void warped way too far over and ended up talking to her, but I recovered, I guess. Kind of annoying though. And then the Imperial takes 2 hits. So, and I am looking at my notes here. I didn't just memorize this entire sequence. Do the save clip. The skooma ran out, so I had to reset the save clip. No big deal. And then talk to him. And the next fight is the weird one, because this Altmer cannot be hurt by magic. He's resistant to all spells. So what you have to do is you have to run all the way across the arena and sneak attack him from behind with your fists and then try to kill him quickly. And if you don't kill him quick enough, the door will close and it'll ruin the run. So you got to make sure you quick load if you don't get this quick enough. Originally, I had it routed that you had to wait for the gate sound again on that fight, but I found that it actually works if you're just really quick on killing him with your fists. But he blocks you with his shield, and it's really tricky, and it's frustrating because it's right at the end of the run. So now we're going to do the champion fight with Pork Chop, everyone's favorite. So you go through the door, and obviously you don't want to hit Pork Chop because they're going to start running towards you. I actually don't know why this happened this time, but they didn't run at me after the first hit. It might have been that I wasn't far forward enough to trigger them, but I had this in the bag, and then I totally blew it trying to hit this last person because it's lined up and everything. And then I guess Pork Chop walked past the trigger, or no, the announcer finished his sentence or something, and that like triggered her to run towards me. And you know, I'm not very good at aiming, so I just missed a bunch. And I don't know why, but you cannot get the gate to be lowered going into the final fight for the Grand Champion. Not in a way that I've found yet. So if anyone finds it, let me know in the comments or something. So you talk to him, and then I drank 5 skooma, which locks you out of the ability to drink the most. So I thought I ruined the run because I didn't think I'd be able to make the clip. So I had to do a really clutch reroute thing on the fly, using something from the 100% run where you jump along the perimeter and try to avoid warp by falling from halfway across instead of all the way from the back. So I can't believe this actually worked. I thought I was going to just throw the run at the last second here. But you have to repeat the first fight's save clips, basically. So you do this save clip, and then I'm jumping around the perimeter, but if you drank your skooma correctly, you don't need to do this. You can just run all the way across. So this is a slight time loss here. And then he takes 4 hits. So you go and you hit him 4 times, and I messed up at the end, but I did get a really quick loot on the corpse. You have to take the raiment, and then you repeat the clips from the beginning again. So you just walk into that corner, quick save, do your save clip, and then you're going to line up on the left side of this gate to get the other save clip, like this. And then all you have to do now is talk to the lady, and you can pick either raiment, it doesn't matter. And then as soon as it zooms all the way out after talking to her, that's when the timer stops. So right here, give me the light raiment, and then time. Okay. So that's the whole route. I'm pretty happy I got this in 1 day after learning and rerouting things, because I found that new tech. If you want more info on how the gate lowering glitch works, I made a video about it that I uploaded the same day as this one. So you can check that one out. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see what I find when I do the next category.